What's new in policing? Think back, this time a year ago, protesters were taking to the streets after the death of George Floyd, and the LAPD launched a brand new bureau. For a look at that progress, I spent a day on the job in Watts with Deputy Chief Emada Tingirides.
Thank you, Charlie. Oh, thank you.
She's a hugger, her words, and on this day, a highlight at LAPD's Southeast Station, Deputy Chief Emada Tingirides.
Today, I provided each officer with the Community Safety Partnership Bureau coin that symbolizes the work that the officers have done in the community and also symbolizes that this policing model and the work that they've been doing for 10 years is permanent with the creation of the Bureau.
The Community Safety Partnership Bureau has been in operation less than a year.
So as we address these issues,
It's the expansion of a model program Tingirides helped launch in 2011. How long have you been in community safety?
I've been in community safety partnership over 5 years.
5 years.
So CSP officers still are responsible for crime. They also still build relationships and trust. I think the biggest change that has happened between 2020 and 2021 is there is a support mechanism.
In the wake of protests and calls for police reform after the death of George Floyd, it was announced Tingirides would be elevated from captain to deputy chief.
It's about getting certain training for the officers, like gang intervention, having teenagers come to their training to explain to them why they fear the police.
So all of these officers here, were they handpicked for the program?
They were handpicked.
CSP officers must commit to 5 years in the Bureau. It allows them to know the people in the community. On doing the job in these tough times for police?
It is a difficult time. I don't know if you would speak to any other officer and they'd say any different. But I think you have to trust in the development of your department. I think you have to trust in the people that you work with. And I think you have to trust in the relationships that you built within the community to be able to fall back on that.
Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, ma'am.
I appreciate you.
Deputy Chief Tingirides, with police in mind, supports calls to invest in underserved communities.
It's got to be in partnership with law enforcement. We're not going anywhere. We need to serve our communities the best way that we can, responsibly, and build these relationships.
Tingirides, and Alex, you've covered her and her husband Phil many times, right? Well, she spent a lot of her childhood in Watts, and the history there of the Watts riots. She's now at headquarters, and she's had that appointment as deputy chief since July.
And how has the program grown in that year?
Yes, well, remember they had the 10-year program they were working on in just 4 different housing developments. It's now in 10 different communities, so it is growing indeed, and that was just this year.
Yeah, such important work. Thanks, Christine.